How's it, everyone? Wayne the Unknown here, and welcome back to another episode of Cosplay Con Talk, where we basically discuss everything pertaining to the cosplay community and conventions. I am joined here by returning guest Antman for their first time ever for Get to Know That Cosplayer. How are we doing, Jamie?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm doing well. I guess I was gonna say good, and then it occurred to me that's a dumb thing to worry about on a, you know. But I'm good.
That is good to hear. So, thank you for coming back on to this channel. So unlike your makeup interview, we're going to be talking about what it's like being a cosplayer. I know we kind of touched on a bit of that last time you were on this show
hmm
on this channel. So, to begin, how long have you been cosplay for, and what got you into cosplay?
Okay, so I think I talked about this on the other episode I did with you, but I started doing community theater when I was 6, and that is kind of like the springboard into basically everything I do now. Um, so because that is where I learned to do like costume and makeup stuff, and that has turned into like my career where I work in regional theater, and also into to cosplay and other things like that I do for fun. Um, so I want to say it was, yeah, because it was when I was, I think it was IkiCon of 2017. That might, let me double check that actually. But IkiCon of 2017, I believe it was. My friend Sonora, who's she's all these dang pancakes on the Instagram. If you want to go uh, look her up. But anyway, she'd been going to conventions for a couple of years already, and she knew that I was like a costume person and all that, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to come to Econ with me?" Because she thought that it'd be a fun thing for that I would enjoy, and she was right. So, and then I just have continued going to conventions and cosplay and stuff. I mean, I've done a lot of things like adjacent to cosplay before. Like when I went to that first IkiCon, um, what did I do? I did him. It was the first time I had taken him to a convention because oh well, that was the first convention I went to. But it was that I had already because I had done that for Halloween. Um, and I also did the Grinch at that first IkiCon, which is something that I had been planning for another December Christmas time event that year anyway. Um, and the only cosplay that I made specifically for that convention was oh, I cannot remember his name from Princess Jellyfish. The the main character from Princess Jellyfish. I cannot think of his name. Uh, but that was the only cosplay that I had like new for that convention. Um, Okay, it was 2017, and his name is Kuranosuke. So that now
I'm
you
just
won't
gonna
get
put. I'm just
a
gonna
thousand
write
angry
Prince.
comments about that.
I'm just gonna write Princess Jellyfish cosplay. So Ikikon.
Mhm.
So you've been doing this for 6 years. Math, yes, 6 years.
Yeah, yeah,
And
that
you
is.
said Ikikon. What is Ikikon? I don't think I've ever heard of that before.
It is in Austin. It had been around uh around like between Christmas and New Year's was when I first went to it in 2017. Uh, that the Sunday, like the end of the convention, was New Year's Eve. Um, and I think during the pandemic, I don't want to say like the just something totally wrong, but I believe that what happened was they didn't have a convention during the pandemic, and then this last year I think was their first year back, but they were they had moved a little they had moved to like earlier, like early January. Um, and I believe that that is like this week. It might actually be this weekend. I'm not going to be able to go this year. But I think that's like this weekend or next actually. But yeah, it's in Austin, Texas. I assume there's other Austins somewhere in the in the United States. Um, but yeah, it's a fun convention. It was where I started, obviously, like I just said, but I also have taken the Grinch to that one pretty consistently because it's around that time of year. It's a fun convention.
Nice.
It's in a decent sized space. It's a decent sized crowd. So yeah.
Nice. So let's see here. How many conventions have you been to altogether, if you can
Oh
remember?
God, I don't know the exact number. I mean, it's been, as you just made me think, about 6 years. So um, honestly, couldn't tell you exactly how many I've been to, but I have, I like to go to like 2 or 3 a year, typically. Obviously
Nice.
not counting the pandemic years because I wasn't really doing that, but uh, and I'm only just now, honestly, getting back into like a full year of conventions, but yeah,
Nice.
we'll see. We'll see.
Nice. So let's see. Next question. Next question. So, when it comes to first-time con goers or those who want to check out cons, what advice would you like to give?
Um, have fun. Like I said, the first convention I went to, I took two costumes I already had, and the third one, that it was the one that I put together specifically for that convention, was stuff I bought. I like styled the wig for it, and I may have done some alteration. No, yeah, I painted the shorts because they had like a cow print on them. But I bought a like short thing and I painted it like so. Do stuff to not stress you out. Not stress your. If I could talk, it'd be good for a podcast, right? Um, don't stress yourself out. Do stuff that it's like within your like capabilities. There's a lot of talk about people like con crunching, and like, hard work is a virtue, but also like,
Is this the character with the pink hair who you did?
yes, yes, that's Kernus. Yeah,
Okay, nice. I think I actually
yeah. I
saw that
haven't
on your. I think I actually saw that on your Instagram.
probably I have not done Kurnosuke in a while. I think the last time I did Kurnosuke was Acon, when it was at the state fairgrounds. And Vespid, who introduced us, my pictures actually for that.
Oh,
Uh, which
nice.
is why they're so lovely.
No, Vespet, he's a cool person, I gotta say.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, another question. Would you recommend, especially so two questions that are con related. You answered one about non cosplayers. Advice for cosplayers who are wanting to go to their first convention.
Oh, absolutely. Oh gosh, I mean, I feel like the thing I did, my first thing was cosplay centric, so maybe I should reverse them. But like, uh, truly, like, not stressing yourself out, I think, is a virtuous and good thing to try to do. I think I don't know if I got through this uh, when I first started saying it a second ago, but anyway, um, there's a lot of talk about people like con crunching, and hard work is certainly a virtuous thing, but also um, there is a value in like knowing your limits and not pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion, and then not enjoying your weekend immediately after because you're exhausted.
Oh yeah, no. Con crunch is a real thing. Next one. Would you recommend those who go to their first con? Would you recommend they have a set budget?
Oh, I mean, I guess it depends on what your intentions are. One thing you might not be aware of if you're not a regular con goer is like artist alley and dealer's room stuff type of thing. Because that's not the type of thing that typically gets discussed. Like, you know what I mean? Or at least I didn't feel like I knew a lot about that sort of thing going in. So like, you certainly can be tempted to spend hundreds of dollars in the dealership and the artist alley, if those things are appealing to your interests. Um, So, like, if you're going to like that setting with a budget, if that's what you mean, yes, absolutely. But also if like you're cosplaying, like I find it helpful to like think about how much a given cosplay is going to cost me. Um, I mentioned a little while ago that I work in regional theater, and so I'm also used to like looking at costume budgets and that sort of thing, like how that affects. That is typically a bigger budget because it's for multiple people, of course,
Oh yeah.
and it's also the type of thing that's going to affect like the overall shows. Like if I'm designing a show and I go over budget, ideally the producer probably has some extra money because they knew that someone was going to go over budget. But also like if costumer goes over budget, that means props can't. So but anyway, as budgeting pertains to cosplay and conventions, yeah, definitely don't do something fool don't spend a foolish amount of money in the dealer's room. Don't spend a foolish amount of money on your cosplay. I mean, obviously the listener was going to know what is what they're able to do and what they're able to spend, but um knowing that going in, like, okay, I can spend $30 in the artist alley, or whatever. That's a decent idea for sure.
Well, you kind of answered about my question about cosplaying on a budget as well. We'll get more into a little bit of that. Oh yeah. For a first time con goer, whether they are going to the convention in cosplay or going to the convention out of cosplay, vice versa. Would
Mhm.
you recommend if they bring like as I call it a convention X buddy, someone to bring with you just so in case you get like overstimulated, just so much is going on at once that you need like, hey, could we go like elsewhere? Because I'm kind of like
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, for me personally, I'm a very social person. I, uh, you know, this might be I might once again be like crossing into one of your other questions, but I'm very much into like doing group cosplays and going to conventions with my friends and making new friends at a convention, and that sort of thing. Um, I typically wouldn't want to go to a convention entirely by myself. That's certainly not to my taste, just for like a social reasons, but also for safety reasons. A I don't want to get too serious on here, but like there's a lot of reasons for you not to be by yourself in crowded areas, especially certain subsets of people. So definitely be careful about that sort of thing, and yeah, go to conventions with friends. Um, it's a good way to make new friends a lot of the time as well.
oh
But
yeah.
going with a friend that you already know and trust is a good strategy.
No, I wholeheartedly agree. I mean, I've gone to a few cons with, some friends, and then I've gone to cons by myself, and I realized, yeah, sometimes going to a con by yourself can be a little boring and a little
Yeah,
tedious
it's a
sometimes.
little lonely. It's very it's on the few occasions that I've done something like that, or that like my friends have been doing something and I've not been with them, you know, for whatever reason, being alone at a convention, it's very much that phenomenon of being alone in a crowd. Uh it can be.
Oh, I believe it. Now before we get into the cosplay part of this, future conventions you're going to. So mind you, this won't be out. Give me a minute. I gotta look at. Uh, so this won't be out till like uh, actually no, this will be out. So yeah, this will be out in May. So cons you will have gone to by then, and cons you're hoping to or will be going to later this year.
Um Honestly, this is kind of the worst time for me to try to answer this question because I might be going out of the state for the summer. So I unfortunately I might miss Acon, which I really wanted to go to because that's one of the, especially if you're already in Dallas, you know that's that's the big one. Um, But honestly, I don't know because I'm about to move within the Dallas Fort Worth area still, but I'm about to move, and then I'm probably going out of the state for the summer. So I honestly don't know when the next convention I'm going to go to is. I'd like to go to ACON. If anyone was hoping to hear this answer for like a recommendation, I definitely recommend ACON. I recommend A Fest as well.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
uh, Acon is I don't again I don't want to say the wrong like statistics or anything, but it was at one point in time like the third biggest anime convention in the United States. I think I some of that might be wrong. It might still be. It might not be. I don't quite remember the exact statistics. The point is, it is a big convention. It is the biggest one in Texas, certainly. At least that I've been to.
I've heard from a few people who live in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Um, the Acon and A Fest are pretty big over there.
Yeah,
I mean,
Acon is
unless you also
definitely.
if you count Rooster Teeth Expo as well.
Oh yeah, I haven't been to that, but I heard that's gotten pretty well attended. Um, but yeah, Acon's had a little. I mentioned earlier the year that Acon was at the state fairgrounds. It is in the middle of summer, so that wasn't the best idea, honestly. But and then they did that happened. That was 2019, I believe, and then immediately after that, I don't know if you realized this, but there was something happened, and there were no conventions that following
I've
year.
heard.
um, yeah, but Acon, I went this last year, and it was really fun again. It was in uh, what is the whatever the convention I can't remember the actual name of the convention center in Fort Worth, but it's the ones that's the like the same block with the water gardens. Um, and that was really fun.
I wouldn't know. I'm from Oregon.
Oh yeah, I
uh,
hope that some
uh,
people from Texas are listening. They'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, um, but
oh,
anyways, yeah. So
I'm sure they will.
yeah, yeah. But yeah,
So
if anyone, what else is good in Texas? AllCon, I like. I don't. I think that just happened actually, and I missed it. AllCon, when was that? Oh, no, I lied. Oh, actually, I might go actually, I'm glad you made me think about this because I might go to AllCon in March because 'cause I'll still be that'll be before I go to New York. Uh, yeah, so
ooh.
AllCon might be the next convention I go to. But, also, as you were saying before, I'm gonna find some friends to go with because I don't typically like to go to conventions alone.
That's totally understandable. Let's see. So, on to the cosplays. You actually also answered what your very first
Yeah,
cosplays were. Um, and I we kind of touched about this. So we touched about a lot about a stuff from your interview. So for those who want to know about like the makeup side, when it comes to cosplay, be sure to check out Antman's makeup artist interview. Link will be in the description below for that. So we won't need to talk about that because we talked about all your makeup stuff in that episode. I'll probably doing the same thing for Vespid. So and now on to some of my favorite questions. What is that one? What's that one cosplay that you've not done in so long that you would love to bring back?
Oh, well, I mentioned Kurnosuke already that I haven't done since 2019, and I really love that is a character that, every, what's the best way to say this? Every cosplayer who is, assigned male at birth and cosplays female characters, has either cosplayed Grell from, Black Butler or Kurenosuke from Princess Jellyfish, and I'm a Princess Jellyfish. Um, so yeah, so I'd like to do Kurenosuke again, because also that show is so about like the fashion and stuff, and so there's like lots of cool outfits to do that I've only done the like main one from the first episode with the cowl shorts. Um, I also there's a lot of it's also because like I feel like I'm at least finally coming out of the like pandemic era of no conventions, I feel like there's a lot of things I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't cosplayed this in a long time. But one of them is what my like obscure weird one that I love is Ms. Momoy from Blue Exorcist, which is
Miss who?
so Ms. Momoy, uh
Miss wait, Miss Memoy, Miss
yeah,
Memoy. I'm probably gonna I probably spelled that. So you said blue. Continue. I'm looking them up right now.
oh yeah, no worries. I'll send you, can I, does that link, did that come through right? So Blue Exorcist, if anyone who's listening is not familiar, is it's an anime. It's actually extremely similar in premise to Chainsaw Man, in that like there is this guy who is half demon who is hunting demons. Um and in the first episode, he gets like a part-time job at the grocery store, and his manager is Ms. Moy, and she is this like very eccentric design with like these all these like butterflies in her hair, and this cute little apron. And I was like, oh my god, I love her. I want to cosplay her. And then the first episode ends, and I mentioned that
Oh,
to my
Get- get-
to one of my to my friend who recommended the show, and they were like, "Yeah, that's her."
this one right here.
Yep.
Oh
And
wow, that's
they were like, so I mentioned that to
oh
my friend, and
man.
they go, "Who are you talking about?" And I said, "The manager at the grocery store." And she's like, "Oh, he quits that job immediately. She's only in the first episode." And I'm like, "Oh." But I loved her design so much, like, I wanna cosplay her anyway. And then also, as I'm, like, researching, I was gonna look up more about the character, like, the vast majority of anime, Blue Exorcist is based on a manga, um, and then I find out that Ms. Momoy is not even in the manga at all. So this is a character that was made up entirely for the anime for 1 episode, but it's a fun little, like, costume, and I like it. I liked her design. So I wanna bring Ms. Moy back because I think that's just, like, a fun, little, uh a fun little cosplay for me to do, and not anything, like, too crazy to, like, not, like, too crazy with costume to, like, worry about having to walk around at a convention.
Nice. So, a cosplay I want to talk about because I remember seeing a picture that you did with what was it Eraser Lettuce, and I think Vespid was involved. It was the Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh god,
Yes.
what was it? The Five
I'm
Nights at Freddy's shoe.
Roxanne Wolf in that.
Yeah, Rick and Roxy. I can't
Yes.
Roxanne Wolf. I can the game. It's which Five Nights at Freddy's it's
Security
from.
Breach.
Security. Thank you.
Yeah.
Before I go on to the
Um
next, what was it like doing that? Do it cosplaying as Roxy from Security Breach.
Oh, yeah. So I have never played a Five Nights at Freddy's game.
Hey, no
But,
judgment here.
I am, I am someone who, I am peripheral to basically any area of nerd culture. So if there's like a big video game, I'll hear about it at least. And I saw the designs it's from Security Breach, and I was like, oh, these are all really cool. And I had seen the like previous Five Nights at Freddy's stuff in passing, so I was like, is this a new? I was like, is this a new character for this game? And it turns out she was. Um, and I had watched one of my friends was playing it one day on Discord. She was streaming it, and so I watched her play. And she happened to be playing the like level where or the like. And I know she pops up a couple different times, but she was playing one through one of the scenes where Roxanne shows up and is chasing the player. And I was like, oh yeah, this is the type of character that I. This is usually the type of character I cosplay. Um, and yeah, uh, I think Vespid had posted on Instagram that he was looking for people who were cosplaying Security Breach characters to do a photo shoot. And Vespid was gonna do our makeup for that. So if you're looking at the pictures that are with me, Eraser Lettuce, and Jesse, Vespid did our makeup for that, which is why it's very cool, but also not my like typical style. Uh, I also, if you're looking at my Instagram, though, I do have some pictures of myself doing my makeup for Roxy
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I'll
It's
be
very
I'll be
very different
I'll be
take on
showing
Roxy in the makeup.
I'll be
But
showing, of
yeah,
course,
that was a really
picture
fun
for
photo
that.
shoot. It was a fun costume to make. It's also kind of all of my cosplay. This might relate to another question you had down the line, but this is it's always like my take on this character. And so for Roxy, I did kind of do her a little different from like what her design is in the game, but I tried to stick with the same like basic shapes and stuff. Uh, and yeah, so it was a fun costume to make, fun cosplay to wear and do like that photo shoot with Vespid, and also taking it to was it Acon that I went to in that? I think it was.
Hmm. Let's see here. Oh yeah. One and done cosplays. Cosplay that you wanted to try because you were curious about you like the character, but it just didn't do it for you. It's just you haven't cosplayed him since.
Well, I'm looking at my Instagram right now because I was trying to remember something that I mentioned earlier. And I see me as the
No.
Scarlet Witch, which is one of those for sure. I think the picture that I'm looking at actually is one I reposted because that I did after I read the newer Trial of Magneto mini series comics. I don't know if it's technically a mini series. It's like 5 issues, so it's not like a full run. But like I read that in one weekend, and I was like, I really loved it, and it was a portrayal of the Scarlet Witch that made me relate to her more than I had in pretty much anything. Um, and I did like a re-edit of those photos for that. But I did only ever cosplay Scarlet Witch once, and it was like probably during or immediately after WandaVision was going on. Um, what else have I done one time? I'm scrolling through my Instagram. Oh, I see Vecna from Stranger Things. Um, that I want to do like a full better version of. That was kind of just a me
So
testing
you
out
would
some
like
stuff
to
with
do
makeup.
you would like to do Vecna again
Possibly.
then.
It depends. I need to think about like what my like I was saying earlier, like what my take on Vecna is and what that design would ultimately look like. But yeah,
Nice.
that might be something I do in the future.
Nice.
What else have
Now, oh, sorry.
Oh, no, no, you're fine. I'm just trying to think if there's any more answers to that question because there's certainly a lot of things that I have cosplayed once and then like put that aside or like turn that into something else. Uh, but recently those are
While
two.
you're while you're sorry.
No, go ahead. You're fine.
Oh, it just went. Alrighty then. Oh, right. So with some of your cosplays, especially, have you ever had to wear heels for any of your cosplays?
Oh yeah, pretty much always. The vast majority of the time, yeah. I think was it did I wear flats the whole day at I think I did. I think at Anime Frontier I wore flats the whole day as no I didn't. No I didn't. I was switching in and out at Anime Frontier last month as the Grinch. But also the Grinch I feel like can wear flats. Even like a drag
So,
queen Grinch can wear flats.
oh yeah, no, definitely. So for those who are wanting to wear heels, whether it be whether there's a man wanting to cosplay as man or woman, whatever.
Mhm.
Um, for who when they want to wear heels, what advice would you want to give to both male and female cosplayers who want to wear heels for a
Uh,
cosplay?
buy them in your size. If you're, I mean, that really that is kind of the problem. If you're an assigned male at birth person, or just if you're have large feet, etc., it can be hard to find heels in your size sometimes. Um, there is a brand that I really like, called Fun Tasma. it's a good brand. They make they make a good quality product for a decent price. Uh, that's all I'm gonna say about them because they're not paying me. But find a brand that you like. Find a brand that makes a good product that you are comfortable spending the money on, and buy them in your size. Buy something that's kind of like a neutral black heel that you can wear with multiple different things, and that way you can
Kind of
get
like
more of that investment, if the price point is a concern as well.
because on something like this, it says fun. It says Phantasma on it. On the
Yes. Yeah, it's Phantasma with is it it is with an F, right?
yeah, Phantasma.
Yeah.
Nice. Let's see. So we talked about we talked about that. What is, as I call it, your comfort cosplay? Say cosplay, no matter how many times you cosplay it, you always enjoy cosplaying it.
Oh, the Grinch. I mean, that's uh, if you know me, it's the Grinch. It's I just really love that character. I I'm of an age that I was a child when the Jim Carrey movie came out, and I really connected with that. It's just a character I really like, and honestly, it's like given me a like holiday tradition that I really enjoy and enjoy like getting back to every year. In a way that
Nice.
a lot of holiday traditions either I find pointless or just don't enjoy as much. Cosplaying the Grinch is a holiday tradition that is all my own.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a character you like doing. It's a comfort character. No matter how many times, no matter how old you get, it's a character you always enjoy doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice, nice. Now on to future cosplays and cosplays you're working on.
Well,
What? Okay,
as I
so
mentioned
like,
earlier, I am
go
about to
ahead.
move, so I don't have anything like in the works at this exact moment. Um, but let me think. What do I actually have in the future? Um, da, 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 da. Let me look at my list. um, I actually have not listed a lot of, but no, stuff is lately. Um, when there's a release date for Beastars season 3, I'll cosplay Legoshi's mom. If she's been in the manga, um, but I really like that character, and I'm probably gonna cosplay her around probably around the time that season 3 of Beastars comes out because I think that's when she'll make her appearance in the anime, but um,
She's
that might not
mom.
be.
She's
Yeah, so
mom.
if you're not familiar
Interesting.
with Beastars at all, Legoshi is a wolf. Um, it's like furry world basically, and he's a wolf. And you
voiced
find
by one,
out
voiced by one Jonah Scott.
yes, um, and you find out in some of the later volumes of the manga that his grandfather is a Komodo dragon. So his mom is a wolf Komodo dragon hybrid, basically. And
The hell?
yeah, uh, and she's just a character that I think she looks really cool, and I find some kinship with her and her plot line. So I like her, and I like her design and stuff. Um, Demona from Gargoyles, I have had that like on my list for fucking forever, and I really would like to do that at
Oh,
some
by the way,
point.
I only allow one F word on this show. By the way,
Oh, okay. Well, that's the one. That's the one.
that one.
I guess I don't know. I said it. Um,
Hey, it's okay. I allow one. If you say any other, I will bleep them out in post.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I don't mind that.
Oh
Uh,
man, I would love to see you do. I would love to see you do Demona and see how turn. See how that one turns out.
yeah, I've done some. I have like a design for her that I like that I just want to like make sure I have the like time to execute properly. Because I've like done some research into like Scottish traditional costume. If you're not familiar with gargoyles, it's a show about gargoyles. um, but one of the things that kind of pops up in a couple episodes is that they are all from Scotland. Um, and the show it's a very weird show, and it gets into some like weird like Shakespeare stuff as well. That honestly I really enjoyed the like weird Shakespeare part of Gargoyles, but like I know that that is a point of like confusion for some people as to like why is this the like path this show's taking. um but in any event, I've done some research into like traditional Scottish costume that would be like what the people in the period that they're supposed to be from would be wearing. Because I kind of wanted to like be Demona like through that lens. Um, and also she's like blue and is shaped like a gargoyle. So like I said, I just want to make sure I have the time to like execute that properly when I do it. But that is something I want to do in the future.
Looking forward to it. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Moving right along. Cosplay mishaps. Cosplay of yours that ripped, tore, snapped, fell off, broke. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong.
Yeah. So, mm, unfortunately I don't think I have one that has like a funny story. But I'm human. Things have gone wrong for me before. Um, there was there was like a jumpsuit I made at one point that I hadn't calculated the girth, like the length of the torso correctly when I was using that pattern, and so it was a little difficult for me to sit in it. Um, so as I mentioned a couple times, I work in regional theater. I work in a costume shop, um, and this is why dress rehearsal is important. So to turn this into like a lesson, wear your cosplay around the house for a couple hours, and you'll notice what's wrong with it. That tear will go ahead and happen. Um, that piece that's loose will finally come unstuck. Whatever it is, if you give yourself a little dress rehearsal, you're more likely to find the problems before you're somewhere where you can't fix them. So, I definitely would recommend doing that.
Oh, I wholeheartedly believe that. So yeah, we're moving right along here. Funny, embarrassing moments, or as I also call them, cosplay and convention horror stories. Like a moment that while at a con, it's like really weird and like you had to ask yourself, did that actually just happen? Funny, awkward horror story moments. It's love.
Um, hmm. Gosh, I feel like I don't have any good stories for the. Well, I don't know if I can tell that story.
It has to be. So this is a
Uh,
PG-13 channel, so
yeah,
it
I was
has
gonna
to
say
be.
like,
It has to be
well, there's some
appropriate.
like I'm thinking like there's some stuff I could say that could like actually get some people mad at me if I told certain stories, but uh yeah, wow, I cannot think of a good story right now.
Excuse me.
Is that I don't know if this is actually funny to anyone but me, honestly, but, and this actually wasn't an anime convention that this story is about. This was at this is at like, theater conference thing that this happened. But, I'm walking around the, like, the con floor, and I see someone who I think I recognize for a moment, but I can't like place who exactly she is. Um, and then I realize that it's Anne Roth. Um, if you haven't heard the name Anne Roth before, that's fine. But you have, I guarantee, seen her work before. She's an extremely prolific costume designer. Um, I'm gonna pull up her IMDb so I don't say anything wrong and also don't leave anything really remarkable out. Um, why? Oh, IMDb, why are you doing this to me? But anyway, she's done just a lot of stuff. She did the Birdcage, Mamma Mia, Doubt, The Village, Angels in America. Um, uh, Sabrina, Dennis the Menace. I didn't even know that there was a Dennis the Menace movie made in 1993, but apparently there there was.
Yep,
Working Girl.
yep, there is a.
Um, but anyway, point is, Uh, she's a very prolific costume designer. Um, and I just happened to see her, and I was like, "Oh, that's Anne Roth." I didn't recognize her immediately because, like, the thing I associate with her is not like her face; it's her, body of work. Um, but anyway, that's the only time I've been starstruck is when I saw Anne Roth at a conference.
Nice, very nice. Now, I guess, um, would you also count that as like an exciting convention moment, or do you have something to this day that you're like something cool or awesome or amazing at a convention happened that you'll never forget to this day?
Um, oh, I'm sorry. I just thought of the actual answer to your last question because I'm looking through my Instagram and I saw the picture. So this is another story with Vespid. Funny enough, another Vespid taking my picture moment. This was at what convention was that at? Because I'm trying to remember the place that it was at. I don't see it. It was at the hotel that is connected to the Dallas Love Field Airport. So if anyone remembers what convention was there in uh in December of 2019, let me know because I don't remember. But point is, I'm doing this photo shoot. I'm dressed as the Grinch because it's December, and Vespid, who we all love, is taking my picture. And as I said, this hotel that we're in is connected to the airport, and we were in the like sky bridge that is over the street between them.
Ooh.
It is a very very nice location for pictures. I mean, if you've ever been to A Fest, is kind of a similar vibe to that. Not quite as nice of an air bridge, but it was still something. It was like a nice like frame uh, going down that hallway. And then so I'm like in front of the camera. I'm like posing all that good stuff, and all of a sudden I see Vespid go like up from his camera, and I'm like, what happened? And then everyone who is in front of me starts like moving to the side, and I turn around and there's like a pilot, like in his like suit with like little wings on and everything, and like just walking down the thing with his suitcase, and I'm like, this poor guy.
uh, so, one more question before we do end this. Any last minute advice you want to give those any last minute advice you would like to share for those or give to those who are listening and or watching this?
Yeah. Gosh. I mean, have fun. Remember that this is a hobby. Um, Cosplay, generally speaking, is something that very few people make any amount of money at, much less a living. So, you know, remember to have fun. If you're not having fun, then something has gone wrong. Um, so basically, at all times, that's my guiding philosophy with cosplay. I'm just thinking like, if I'm not having fun, then I need to change something. Be that I don't want to wear this cosplay because it's uncomfortable anymore, or I don't want to, go to this particular convention because for whatever reason it's not it's not fun for me. That sort of thing. Just remember to like, um, I'm told this is a Scorpio trait. I'm not an zodiac expert, but I'm told that this is a very Scorpio trait of me to have. Uh, I'm very much about like protecting my energy and doing things that actually fulfill me, uh, rather than things that I feel like are supposed to fulfill me. So that's something I try to be very conscious of, and I would encourage others to do so as well.
Nice. I can't argue with that. I think that should about do it. Real quick though, before we read this, would you like to promote yourself by dropping those links below so people can find you?
No, no, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm on Instagram and TikTok as the Aunt Man, the AUNT man, all one word. That's the only place I do like cosplay stuff. I don't have like cosplay on. I think I do technically have a cosplay like Facebook page, but I don't check that, so don't worry about that. I think sometimes my Instagram posts automatically get updated to that Facebook page, but it's not consistent. And like I said, I don't check it. So anyway, but yeah, Instagram and TikTok. That's where you can find Aunt Man.
Nice. Well, as you know, mentioned, the links to that will be in the description below. Again, Jamie, I want again thank you for coming on. Coming back on to this
Mm,
channel and everything. Always a pleasure having you on.
thank you.
Um, and also, like as I mentioned, be sure to check out his makeup artist interview that was posted like last
Yeah,
year. If you want to learn more about the makeup side to cosplay as well. So I think that should about do it. Again, Jamie, thank you for coming on, and for those who are watching this, as always, I'm Wayne the Unknown. Until next time, thank you for listening, and as always, thank you for watching.